Welcome back. It is Friday, June 30th, and the MLB, our three favorite picks are on the way. It's Austin, joined by Logan. Let's recap yesterday. Logan, you're finally back. Now, people thought I gave you the boot, but the file corrupted yesterday, but we returned with a winning day, and I got to give you props. Your pick was the Marlins team total under 4.5. Shame you couldn't give out your reasoning on camera, but a winner nonetheless. Christian Walker over 1.5 bases was a sweat-free winner, and the Astros Cardinals under 9.5 was actually looking pretty close. Luckily, they gave up a 10th run, and then they tossed in a position player or gave up a grand slam. But shout out to Wainwright, buddy. You need to retire. Look, let's be honest. You gotta hang it up. He absolutely stunk up the joint. But we will take it to him one day, and let's see if we can do a 3-0 sweep to end out June, the final day of the month. But either way, we got 3 picks on the way coming right up. Let's talk about first, though. If you want to send for DraftKings, you can get plus 3,000 odds on any team on Friday. Here's how you do it. You sign up, top link in the description, make a $5 money line bet on any team in the MLB across the slate. You get $150 in site credits if that team wins. So take advantage of that. It's only $5, take a risk on a team, and you get great odds on any of the teams playing. And we got a big action-packed slate. Now, let's dive in the picks, though. First and foremost, we have a parlay of the day. If you want to go check that out, it's going to be a hit parlay, so check that out. If it hits, we're going to give away some money. But first, before I dive into my favorite picks, I do want to note I will be in California for probably the next, week or two, I think for the next 10 or 11 days. So videos, you might see me in a change of scenery. Maybe we'll have a Logan solo video here and there. And if you remember Logan solo videos, he's never lost in those situations. But either way, if that does happen, you'll know. But Logan's going to get dialed in just like we are, because July is right around the corner. And we're going to start with this first pick, though, heading across the pond close to where I will be. So actually this game's in Anaheim in Los Angeles, where the Angels and Diamondbacks are playing. And I'm going to the Diamondbacks, taking the team total over 4 runs at minus 125 on FanDuel. Now, you do get a little bit of push potential here. Obviously, if the Diamondbacks end with 4, no harm, no foul. We get our money back, which I do like it there. Now, if you want to go up to 4.5, I'd play that for only a half unit. And there's a reason why. I mean, obviously, I love the push potential. The 4.5 is like plus 105, plus 110. So you get some plus money there. Obviously, we need 5 runs to cash this. If you want to take a 3.5 plus Christian Walker to get a hit, I think that's a decent, same game parlay pivot. But let's really just talk about why I like this Diamondbacks team to come out here and score 4 runs. Now, I was considering backing our boy Christian Walker again to get 2+ bases, but instead I'm going to ask him and the rest of his team to pick up the slack. Now, while I do lean the Diamondbacks on the money line, I just don't really trust Tommy Henry, the guy that's projected to start for the Diamondbacks on Friday. At the end of the day, Henry's allowed 7 hits in his last 2 starts, managed to get out of some tough jams. I just don't trust him. And if you want to go full game over, I think that's okay. But really, I'm going to trust the Diamondbacks to put up hopefully 5 runs today and cash this one for us, 4 at the minimum. Now, the Diamondbacks have lost 2 in a row. This is a team that's been really good all year long. Lost 2 in a row. They could be without Corbin Carroll on Friday. He exited Thursday's game early. Hopefully he's back, because obviously he's a big part of this offense. But the D-backs scored only 2 and 1 run in these last 2 games, going 2 for 10 and 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Yeah, combined 2 for 23. It's hard to get much worse than that. I'll let you know right now, the team I'm about to back did worse than that over the past couple games, but we'll talk with them in a second. And honestly, I think there's just a little bit of regression here. This is a Diamondbacks team that has guys that can put the ball in play all from 1 to 9 in their lineup, and I trust them to come out here and have a decent showing again against Griffin Canning. It's going to start for the Angels. Now, Canning enters with a 3.99 ERA and a 1.16 whip. Got to be honest, he's coming off a really good start. 0 earned runs in Coors Field. If you remember, that was the game he got a sweat-free win towards his record as the Angels won that game 25-1. I mean, you're talking about a guy that came out there, had no pressure on him. Didn't have to worry about anything. The game was already chalked up. It was already a win by the 3rd inning. So Canning, no pressure on him. I'll have more pressure on him today, because I don't see them blowing out this Diamondbacks team 25-1. And Canning, you look at his stats, I just think he's due a bad outing. He's been pretty good recently. The last time, you saw Canning go out there and throw 0 earned runs like he did in the last start, he followed up with a 3 earned run performance. Canning, 2+ earned runs in 9 of 12 starts, allowed a home run in 9 of 12 starts as well, including 9 of his last 11. Didn't allow a home run in his first start of the year. So, I think a guy like Canning could come out here. It would not surprise me if he spotted us 3-4. He could even give up 5 earned runs. I think he's due a little bit of regression here. And you look at Canning's percentiles, they're not great. 10th percentile in hard hit percentage, 8th in average exit velocity, 38th in expected slugging, and 48th in K percentage. He's not been, when he doesn't get the strikeouts, he's getting hit hard. And he does have games where he'll get, 5, 6, 7, maybe even 9 strikeouts. But this is a team in the Diamondbacks 3rd in strikeouts per game. So they're not really striking out a lot. They're getting the ball, they're getting their bats on the ball. And when the people do that to Canning, it normally leads to a lot lot of success for the opposing team's offense. So I think Canning's going to come here, struggle to miss some bats. I think the D-backs will make him pay. As the Diamondbacks lineup obviously littered with talent, they wouldn't have the record they are without, having a great team that can put up some offense. So at the end of the day, I think their bullpen is capable of giving up some runs. Jose Soriano pitched yesterday, and he threw a lot of pitches. Jose Soriano is the main Angels bullpen guy that I do normally say, I don't like seeing him in there. If I'm on the other side, he's probably not going to pitch you today. They also use, I believe, 4 or 5 bullpen arms. So they use a lot of guys yesterday. I think they're going to have a shorthanded bullpen tonight. I think Griffin Canning maybe doesn't go too far in this game, but either way, we're getting 9 innings of hitting. I think the D-backs at least get us 4, but hopefully 5 or more. Maybe they make it a no-sweat bet. I really like that as my first play of the day. I got another team total, but I'll let Logan go, and then I'll talk about my second pick. Logan, what you got?
Yeah, I got a money line for us. I'm picking a team to win their game outright. No team total for me in this one. I'm going to the San Diego Padres, and I'm taking them on the money line. Minus 130 odds on PointsBet's currently your best value on this one. Now, look, Austin and I sometimes pay attention to the comments. I say sometimes. You could just keep the comments to yourself on this one. Logan, I won't bet against the Reds. Logan, the Padres suck. Like, all these comments I know. And in baseball, you can't just bet with feelings alone. You really do have to look at the matchups, and you do have to look at, how these two teams stack up on paper. At the end of the day, I know the Padres are disappointing. I know you don't want to back them. But I'm going to back them. Call me crazy, call me stupid, whatever. They face Graham Ashcraft today. Graham Ashcraft starts for the Reds, 7.17 ERA and a 1.67 whip. If you're backing Reds, do you really want to back that guy? I'm just saying, last time he faced the Padres, Ashcraft pitched well. 6 innings pitched, only allowed 1 earned run. The Reds ended up winning that game 2-1. Now, if Ashcraft duplicates that performance again, hats off to him. But look at his baseball, his statistic numbers. They're terrible. Third percentile in expected batting average, 20th percentile in expected slugging, 36th percentile in walk percentage, 29th percentile in hard hit percentage. He really doesn't do anything well. He gets hit hard, he walks people. That's the type of pitcher you want to back? No, that's the type of pitcher I want to fade, because the last Reds pitcher that I tried fading was Luke Weaver, and I truly believe the Orioles let him off the hook. I don't think the Padres are going to let Graham Ashcraft off the hook today, because Ashcraft also pitching back at Great American Ballpark, he has allowed 7 home runs in his last 4 starts at home. We all know what the total looks like in this one. It's sitting at 11 as the time we're recording this video. That place is an absolute launch pad for home runs, and the Padres lineup is just, talent 1 through 9. They have the talent there to get those extra base hits and home runs. San Diego hitting 245 in their last 3 road games, which is okay, right? This Padres team has been underachievers all year. But in June, they've been pretty decent versus righties. San Diego hitting 251 in June versus right-handed pitchers, which is an increase off their season stats. So they're finally trending upward a little bit. If you just look at their wins and everything, you're just going to think this is such a bottom feeder team. And I agree with you, right? They've compared to their payroll, they have underachieved, but I think they get to Graham Ashcraft today. And I think Seth Lugo, who's starting for the Padres, pitches well today. 4.01 ERA and a 1.32 whip for Seth Lugo. Last time Lugo faced the Reds, he went 6 innings pitched, only allowed 1 earned run. The Padres ended up winning that game 7-1. Lugo has only allowed 1 home run in his last 3 starts, which is important because obviously with a high total like this at a ballpark that the Reds certainly know how to hit home runs in, you need a pitcher that can keep the ball in the ballpark, and I think Seth Lugo will be able to do that for us today. Lugo relies on the curveball and fastball combination. Like, he throws each of those pitches about 35% of the time. To me, just watching enough of the Cincinnati Reds this year, the way you slow down this Reds offense is by you have to mix the off speed with the fastball, and that's what Seth Lugo does a good job of doing. You cannot have these Reds hitters just sitting fastball, because that's when they feast. We've seen De La Cruz and Matt McClain and Spencer Steer, all of them, whenever they're in a hitter's count and they're just sitting fastball, that's when they've really done their damage. They did it against Kyle Gibson last time I tried fading them. And you know what? I think Seth Lugo will have a better outing today, obviously. Cincinnati hitting 263 against righties this month, so he will have his work cut out for him, but I think he'll be up to the challenge. And lastly, we'll talk about bullpen. Cincinnati 16th in bullpen ERA. San Diego is 3rd in bullpen ERA. Advantage on paper to San Diego. I just think if they get enough of a lead out on Ashcraft, their bullpen is good enough to hold this one. And it's not super juiced, right? I expect probably the public. The Reds are a huge public dog. They will be a public dog once again today. Nobody wants to back the Padres. Maybe wait on this one a little bit, but I like the value we're getting at it, as a bounce back spot for the Padres, because the way they lost to the Pirates yesterday was absolutely comical. but I like the Padres to bounce back today. Austin, what do you got for us?
Hey, Logan, I know you're going to get a lot of hate for the Padres, but they were almost my pick. And while you could chase for a little bit of plus value on the run line, personally don't want to do that. We saw in that Reds-Braves series, the Reds were comeback kids. They're always coming back and just losing by 1 run. So I think I'd rather lay, the minus 130 on there instead of, trying to chase for the minus 1.5 to get you like plus 105 value. So I think it's a pretty good one. Hopefully the Padres, they might get a lead. If you need to hedge on Reds money line, because we've seen the Padres blow leads, you can do that as well. But for my final pick of the video, we're going to another team total. It's actually a team that kind of has to look themselves in the mirror, just very similar to a team like the Padres, because it is the Minnesota Twins. As a spoiler, their team total over 4 runs, minus 120 on Caesars. Now, this is going to be a very similar analysis to the Diamondbacks, and I'm taking a very similar pick because they're both at over 4. There's a chance that we get some push potential there. Now, like I said, I played 4.5 for half a unit. If you want to take a 3.5 and same game parlay it with one of the Twins to get a hit, go for it. The problem is I just don't know who the Twins start. It's the lineup I think they could change around here today, especially coming off the series that they came off of. Now, let's talk about them, and let's talk about the Twins need to look themselves in the mirror, because the Twins coming off a sweep, and not in the good way. They got reverse swept by the Braves. They got just absolutely spanked, and the Twins scored 1, 2, and 0 runs in those games. And runners in scoring position, they went 0 for 5 in the first game, 0 for 10 in the second game, 0 for 8 the next game. They combined 0 for 23. And wouldn't you know, the Twins closed their clubhouse to the media after that third game when they got swept. Look, a combined 0 for 23, you might as well put Logan and I out there, because we could not physically do worse than 0 for 23. We could at least duplicate that. And I think this Twins team is going to come in here, make some adjustments, and have to step up, because brutally, you can't do worse than that. Honestly, it's almost, I don't even know I don't even know how to look it up, but I'd be curious what the longest 0 for, blank number is for running sort of scoring position, because it's really hard to duplicate 0 for 23 kind of that's really hard. I mean, let's keep in mind. But I think they're going to get back on track today, and they got the right guy for the job, and Dean Kramer, who's going to start for the Orioles. Now, Kramer, 4.50 ERA and 1.36 whip. You look at his expected ERA, hovering in like the 5.5 range. Now, Kramer allowing a 288 batting average with runners in scoring position this year, so hey, better than 0 for 23, right? They got to at least do something. Also allowing a 311 batting average versus lefties. This is the Twins team that does have a bunch of lefties they can put in their lineup. Now, they could probably stack 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 guys in that lineup. Obviously, I don't want all the lefties in there. If they want to leave Joey Gallo out of the lineup, I would appreciate it. But either way, we look at Kramer. I mean, this is a guy that's long overdue, in my opinion, a pretty bad start. If you look at Kramer on the year, he's started 16 games, allowed 17 home runs in those 16 games, including 5 homers in the last 2 starts. He's allowed 3 earned runs or more in 9 of 16, 4+ runs in 6 of 16. So he's given us all of the runs by himself sometimes, but most of the time giving us at least a chance. And you look at his percentiles: 5th in expected batting average, 6th in expected slugging, 18th in hard hit percentage, 11th in chase rate. Not getting guys to chase pitches and getting hit hard. And while this is a Twins team that obviously they weren't able to hit those runners in their last series, I think they're due a little bit of regression here. They're going to obviously hit better than that in this series. And while I would love to take, a Twins first 5 team total, it's probably going to be like 2.5 plus money on the over. Wouldn't surprise me if maybe they get 2 through the first 5. They leave Kramer in for the 6th inning. Maybe they score 2 or 3 more in that inning. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Now, the only thing Kramer's really been good at is he's 85th percentile walks. Sure, you're not walking a lot of guys, but you're giving up a lot of hits. We've seen starts where he gives up, 8, 9 hits. Sometimes gets out of the jams, but sometimes doesn't. And this is an Orioles. Once he comes out, the Orioles bullpen, 11th in bullpen ERA. They're good, a good bullpen. They did use 5 bullpen arms on Wednesday. They did get yesterday off, but still, I don't expect them to use all those same guys. You don't want to just continuously use the same guys over and over again. And while I would love to see Keegan Aiken go out there on the mound, probably aren't that lucky. He just pitched and sold the game for the Orioles in their last one. So I really do think the Twins are a good bounce back team here today. They obviously, look themselves in the mirror. So they're going to have to make some adjustments. I think they're going to wait on some pitches, not be swinging so early. If there's anything I've watched the Twins do, they always come up first pitch swinging. And that's just, in my opinion, not how to be successful. Against a guy like Kramer, he's going to give you multiple pitches to hit. You don't just have to bank on the first pitch being your best pitch. Kramer, trust me, he'll give you multiple. Just take advantage of the ones later on in your at bat. You don't need to be chasing first pitch swinging, but should be favorable with wind and weather in this game. I think the Twins could get up a couple home runs, maybe a 2-3 run homer in this one. I think it's going to get us at least 4 runs for a push, but I really do think the Twins have a good chance of getting us at least 4, hopefully 5 or more. So give me the Twins on the team total over 4. But Logan, any final thoughts before we head out on this fine Friday?
Let's get after it. Let's finish June strong going into July, right? The All-Star break's coming up. We've got some winning days in us, and Austin, I feel good about these picks today.
Yeah, today feels like a really good day. Hopefully we have a great Friday, a third straight winning day. If you want to check out our parlay of the day on the screen, if you want to go sign up for DraftKings, we would appreciate it. All the details down below in the description to get plus 3,000 odds on any MLB team. But let's have a great Friday, a third straight winning day, and we'll see you guys back tomorrow. Same time, I'll be in a different place, but we'll see you guys then. Peace.